Meanwhile, Election Day has come and gone for voters, but members of the Electoral College cast their ballots in 2 weeks. Some Republican electors are getting flooded with harassing emails and messages, demanding them to vote for Hillary Clinton instead of Donald Trump in a last-ditch effort to block President-elect Trump from taking office. It's just extraordinary. Joining us right now to weigh in, Republican presidential elector from Florida, Susan Moore. Susan, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you, Maria, and thanks for having me.
Okay, so can you explain the process to us? Can you legally vote against Donald Trump in spite of the fact that he won the state of Florida? Tell us what plays out now in the next couple of weeks.
Well, you know, electors are, at least in Florida, and I can only speak about Florida, but we're pledged, and so I signed a pledge, and I intend to vote for Donald Trump. I suppose if you wanted to write in someone else, I think it would be unlikely that you would be still seated in the Electoral College. I think you would be replaced.
So electors made their pledge. They're going to stick to their pledge. But a lot of the electors are saying that they're being overwhelmed with messages, asking them to vote against Trump. One from Michigan received death threats. Have you received threatening or harassing emails, first of all?
Well, you know, the volume, I think, is probably harassing enough. You know, a lot of them are belligerent emails and phone calls and text messages. But for the most part, it's just cut and paste kind of emails. That a lot of them are the same, where they just ask you to abstain or flip your vote to Hillary. That's not going to happen, especially not in Florida. The great majority of people that were chosen as electors are party faithful, the party loyalists, and I wouldn't flip my vote anyways.
Hey, Susan,
that's sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad. It's like if somebody breaks up with you and you just keep emailing them over and over again and hope they'll take you back, and it just makes it worse. I respect these people less now.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been broken up with. But Susan, quick question for you. Are there any cogent arguments that they're trying to make to get you flipped? It seems like it's all just hyperbole that they're spewing, and there's no real actual argument that they're making here.
No, and you know, I read the great majority of these emails, and I think I am at about 1,800 right now that I've gotten, which is a bit overwhelming. Most of them are just sort of cut and paste the same sort of language, but you know, there's not a lot there.
So there's no substance to their arguments.
Not really. And I think a lot of it is just, you know, they'll say, like, I'm begging you, please vote for Hillary because she won the popular vote. I think those emails are based on sort of a misconception. I mean, even though, you know, everybody goes out to vote and we tally up numbers as far as the popular vote goes. I mean, we are a republic, and so the Electoral College is where, you know, where things happen. So
teach that in
I think a lot of people
school.
don't understand that.
Yeah, Dagen is pretty extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Susan, do you have any idea who is behind this coordinated campaign of, well, harassment?
Well, all I know is that there are several websites that give all of the electors' personal information, our home addresses, our phone numbers, our email addresses. So I've seen several of those websites. I don't know who's behind it, but they certainly have put our information up there with sample letters that can be sent to us, and you know, encouraging people to contact us in any number of ways. I get a lot of phone calls every day in addition to the emails.
So what do you think happened in Florida? You said a moment ago, look, it's not going to happen. I signed a pledge, and you know, probably not going to see people change their vote in Florida. Why? What was going on in Florida? What was the sentiment like?
Well, you know, in Florida, we obviously went for Trump, and then the people that are chosen as electors are, you know, party faithful. I mean, we're the ones that worked for Donald Trump's campaign. Even if I hadn't signed a pledge, I wouldn't flip my vote anyways, because I was completely behind Trump. I was a delegate to the convention. You know, it's not going to happen. And the great majority of the other 28 delegates in Florida, also party loyalists. You know, it's just not going to happen. And I don't know about other states. I have heard that there is one elector that says that he cannot, in good conscience, vote for Donald Trump. I don't know if that's true, but that's not going to happen in Florida.
So, I mean, what do you think? What are these people thinking? They just want to name call and like harass you into changing your vote?
Well, and I think there's a little bit of an intimidation factor there. Several phone calls that I've gotten, and this is the most intimidation I've received, is people saying that they want to send me special packages and things like that. And I don't quite know what that means, but I think there's certainly an intimidation factor there. But I really don't think there's anything to be frightened about. I mean, it's really more of a hassle than anything.
Are you referring this to the authorities? I feel like these threats should be taken advantage. Yeah, that's a death threat. I mean, have you thought about this?
Send you a package?
Yeah.
Like what?
Right. Yeah. Well, that is a little fearful, especially I have a young son, and he doesn't understand all of this, and so certainly there's some concern. I can only speak personally, but I've had several folks reach out to me about security, and I think I'll be fine. So.
All right, Susan. Well, thanks for your courage, and thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll be watching.
My pleasure.
Susan Moore, good to see you. Thanks so much. Coming up, the Dow creeping closer to 20,000 now. Stuart Varney weighing in on when he thinks that'll happen. Plus.